Hey everybody, Jake here, and today we're going to take a look at another ink. Today it's going to be Sailor Gentle Fuji-Musume. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous lavender purpley color. It's very, very, very nice. It's part of their Four Seasons collection, if you can't tell already. I picked this up from Anderson Pens at the Atlanta Pen Show. I can tell it was about $18. You can get this a little cheaper on, I believe it's Pen Chalet right now for about $16. They also sell 20 milliliter bottles for about $12, so I'd recommend going with a 50. If you know you like the color. If not, try a sample before you get a 20 milliliter bottle because the value really isn't there. You can also find these on eBay, but these can be a little difficult to locate. Let's go ahead and, we'll take a look at the box, I suppose. So a lot of this is in Japanese. You do see it's 50 milliliters, and you see filling instructions on here. It may have one of those little plastic inserts. I didn't see it on this particular bottle when I was filling from it. So I may have removed it before I ever used the ink. I don't know. I hate those things though. So just for reference, it does come with an annoying little plastic insert. You can see the ink bottle here. It is flat. It looks a lot like I have one right here, a Bung Box ink. Because Sailor makes the Bung Box inks. So this is June Bride Something Blue, which is my favorite color ink. Probably, maybe not my favorite performing ink, but we'll get into that in a minute. So it's the same exact bottle. This did have the plastic insert. I distinctly remember removing that one. I'm not sure about this one. But you can see it is a very wide neck. However, it is a very, very shallow bottle. These can be a massive pain to fill from if you have a large nib pen. Which, actually, I'm using a large nib pen for today's just the lighting a little bit here for today's writing sample. So you can see extremely wide neck. For comparison, here is a diamine standard filling. So that's, pretty large. I actually prefer the diamine bottle in this instance. I normally prefer wider necks. However, this bottle is so shallow that it makes it very, very difficult to fill from. But you can see there, I don't see a plastic insert. I either removed it or it wasn't included. I really hope it wasn't included because those are not helpful at all, especially with the larger nib pens. If it's like a Lamy 2000 or something, it's fine. Otherwise, it's just more of a pain than it is a help, in my opinion. So nice glass bottle, really shiny black plastic cap. Almost say clap, that'd be terrible. The clap is not fun. So 50 milliliters, it has a hint of the color, and it's not really all that close. This is a bit more pink than it actually is. That's about all you're going to see on the bottle. A few markings on the bottom and some texturing seem to help it not slide around quite so much. But that's about it for the bottle. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the ink looks like. So here's a swatch of the Sailor Fuji-Musume. Like I said, this is very nice lavendery purple. Let me get some other purples out real quick here to compare it to. So I have three other purples here. I'll move this out of the way. Oh, sorry about that. Monteverde Purple Rain. You can see this is a much more pinkish purple. This is a much more, let's say, blue purple, kind of. Then we have KWZ Gummy Berry. It's kind of in between the two. A little bit more leaning towards the pinkish purple side as well. And last but not least, we have Monteverde Tender Purple. Or, I'm so sorry. Waterman Tender Purple, which is kind of close to the KWZ Gummy Berry. So this is by far the bluest purple that I own. And it's fairly blue. Just to compare it to a purpley blue instead of a bluish purple, here's Asagao. It makes Asagao look very, very blue. So you can see there, it's not nearly as pink as the label made it out to be. It is still a very, very nice ink, though. I like it quite a bit. Move this out of the way. And you do get a lot of shading. You can see some of that when you're writing. I'm using the Pelikan M805 Ocean Swirl in a medium nib, so it is very wet. And this ink is wet as well. The other Bung Box inks that I've used, which, as I understand, are made by Sailor, are a bit on the dry side. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but you know. This one, however, is fairly wet. And you can see there's a lot of shading, a lot of color in here, a lot of depth. You can get, you know, this stereotypical kind of lavender color, or you can get this spectrum kind of thing, where it goes almost from a black to a light, soft, pinky purple. A little bit more on the back here. But there's a lot of shading, a lot of potential for color here. It almost looks like there's a lot of depth to it on this particular swatch, which I like quite a bit. So it's a very, very nice color. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like when you're writing with it. Have the Rhodia dot pad here. And as I mentioned, we will be using the Pelikan M805 Ocean Swirl with a medium nib. So let's see. This is Sailor. Fuji-Musume. I assume I'm pronouncing that right. My wife hasn't corrected me yet. So like I mentioned, it's just a nice purple color. It is a little bit softer. It's not nearly as harsh or as kind of bright as a lot of my other purples. And I like that. It's a bit more toned down. My wife actually picked out this color. So she obviously has a good taste in purples. Which is ironic because she really doesn't like the color purple all that much. I guess she just liked this particular color. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to do a dry test to see about how long this ink takes to dry. I'm just going to do lines. 1 and 3 and 5. This is getting a bit more dry towards 5. 7, almost dry. And again, it's almost dry at 10. So again, this is a very kind of wet pen. It puts down a lot of ink. This ink flows very, very well and it feels very, very wet, but the dry times appear to be pretty good, even on Rhodia paper, which is pretty ink resistant. So I'll give you a bit of a close-up here. So you can see again a lot of that shading I mentioned. In some of the swipes you can see where it's a bit more red, a bit more blue. It's just a very, very nice color. I like this one quite a bit, and I definitely see myself using this more in the future. I do prefer this actually to my Bung Box inks in terms of performance. Now, if we're strictly talking about color, I prefer it over Ink of the Witch, but not over June Bride. I think something would have to be very, 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 very nice to overthrow June Bride there. I think I'll definitely be picking up some more Sailors in the future. I know they've brought back some of their gentle colors recently, I believe, so I'll be picking up some more of those. So it's a little pricey depending on where you get it. Not quite as high as, you know, Pilot or Shizuku, but it's up there. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to check out my other stuff. And if you like this, feel free to subscribe. And please leave a comment. I love talking with you guys. Any questions or anything like that, just feel free. Thanks, guys. Bye.